Hi, my name is Ron Meyer. I'm Professor of Strategic Leadership here at TIA School for Business and Society, and welcome to Meyer's Management Models, insightful tools to kickstart your thinking. And welcome to installment 9, in which I'd like to tell you about the Leadership Fairness Model. Now, the Leadership Fairness Model gives us an answer to the question, what determines whether people feel I am treating them fairly? And this is very important because if you don't treat people fairly, and if they don't feel that they're being treated fairly, they're not going to trust you. And if they don't trust you, the question is, why would they follow you? Well, if I want people to follow me voluntarily, that's what we call the high road to influence. I'm going to build trust. People are going to want to come along on a journey because they trust me. They're going to become engaged, but they're only going to do so if they feel that I'm going to be fair, and if they sense that I'm being fair. Now, I have an alternative. There's a high road, but there's also a low road. And the low road to influence is if I don't treat them fairly, I'm going to trigger their fear. And if I trigger their fear, they still might do what I want, but that's because they're afraid that I'm going to do things to them, so they're going to be compliant. And to you, the question is going to be, what type of leader would you like to be? Now let me take you through that high road. So what are the things that you need to do to be fair? And actually there's 3 building blocks to being fair. And let me walk you through those. And for each one of them, if you're not fair, you're going to trigger a type of fear. Now the first step in being fair is actually relating to people in a fair way. We call that fair attitude. You're treating people with dignity and respect. They feel that you're willing to take their interests in mind, is that you're going to take them into consideration, that you see them as a person who is worthy of respect. And if they feel that that's not true, they're actually going to be fearing rejection. They're going to fear your contempt. They're going to fear your derision. And so they're going to try to do what you want, and that's going to trigger their compliance. They're not going to be in with their heart and mind. They're going to be in there because they fear that you're going to do something against them. So this is the first step. Without this step, people will never think you're fair. But besides the fair attitude, you actually need to be fair along the way. You need to take people on a journey, but they need to feel that that entire process is going to happen in a fair way. We also call that procedural justice. You're going to take the appropriate steps. You're going to listen to people, you're going to talk to people, you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, so you're going to hear what their arguments are. In this way, they can trust that you're somebody who is not going to jump to conclusions. And if they fear that you're going to jump to conclusions, they're going to have this type of a fear. They're going to fear that your behavior is going to be arbitrary, that you're going to be playing games with them, or that you might actually show preferential treatment to others. So you have a fair attitude, you have a fair process, and of course then on the outcome side, that also needs to be fair. So there need to be fair outcomes. Now the outcome could be positive, but then the question is, are we sharing these in an equitable way? But also if things go wrong, are we sharing the blame together? So people have to feel that at the end, we also are fair in the way that we share things. If they fear that that's not true, they're going to fear losing out, getting less, and they're going to be fearing being blamed and being punished. Again, fear is a way of leading, but is that the way that you want to lead? So, this is the overall model. What type of leader do you want to be? The key insights are, fair and fear are 2 approaches to leadership. Fairness is the high road because it's the way in which you engage and get people's long-term commitment. There's 3 types of fairness that you need to do all 3 of them, but you also constantly have to remind yourself, it doesn't matter whether I think I'm fair, it's about whether the other feels that I'm being fair. And last but not least, fear works, but you actually want to use it. Well, hopefully insightful. Thank you for tuning in again, and I hope to see you again next month.